Okay, so this is the figure for question number 15. So we have to prove that triangle DAM is congruent to triangle BAN. Okay, so as you know in the figure, ABCD is a square and you are having a circle, center is A. So you can see that the circle is intersecting the side AB at M and AD at N, and then we have to prove this congruency. So in questions like this, what you can do is that in case you have difficulty in visualizing the figure, then you can draw them separately. It will be, the triangles separately. So I will show you how. So how you can draw the two triangles. One triangle is DAM, okay, because ABCD is a square, so this angle will be 90 degree. So one triangle you can draw like this. It will be straight away here. This is the vertex D, this is the vertex A, and this is the side AM. This angle is 90 degree. Now the other triangle is BAN. So you can see from the figure it will be something like this. Here they have, so this is vertex B, here they have given vertex A, and this is vertex N. You can imagine that you are rotating the whole triangle anti-clockwise. So if you rotate it like this way, the whole this thing, then you will get a triangle like this. This N will come down, and then this B will come on top. This A will remain fixed here itself. Then 180 degree vertically, keep B as an axis and rotate it like this. Then if you do it, rotate it like this, keep BF fixed like this. Then what you will get is this B will remain like this only, this A will remain here fixed only, but this N will come this side. This angle will be 90 degree. Here also this angle was 90 degree, this was 90 degree, and you are doing it like this. Okay, so now you can very easily see that you have to consider these two triangles. So you can see very easily now that in both of these, one angle is 90 degree, here also one angle is 90 degree, and then you can see that AM will be equal to AN. In the original figure you can see that AM and AN, they are the radii of the same circle. So here also in these two triangles, AM will be equal to AN, and then you can see that side AD is equal to AB because ABCD is a square. So this AD is equal to AB, and you can see that this angle is 90 degree, this angle is also 90 degree. So you can say that by SAS, that is side angle side congruency, these two triangles will be congruent. Whenever you are making use of SAS congruency, then this angle must always be included angle. If you are making use of angle side or angle side angle congruency, then it doesn't matter, side may be included or side may not be included. But when you are making use of SAS, then the angle must always be included. So you can see that two sides are equal and included angle is equal, hence these two triangles are congruent by SAS congruency. Okay, so question number 16, figure is given in the question itself. O is the center, you are having two chords AB and CD which are equal. M and N are the midpoints of the chord AB and CD. Now you have to prove that angle OMN is equal to angle ONM. So if you look at the triangle OMN, you will notice that triangle OMN is an isosceles triangle, isn't it? So now how you can say that triangle OMN is isosceles? You must have learned the theorem that equal chords are equidistant from the center, and it has been given that AB and CD, they are equal. Okay, so because equal chords are equidistant from center, that means OM will be equal to ON. If OM is equal to ON, that means that triangle OMN is isosceles triangle, and hence you can say that this angle OMN will be equal to angle ONM. These two angles will be equal. So like this you can prove the first part. Then for the second part, if O is the center and M is the midpoint, then you must be knowing the theorem that if you draw a line segment from center joining the center and the midpoint of a chord, then that will be perpendicular. That means this angle OMA will be equal to 90 degree. And similarly you can say that angle ONC, this also will be 90 degree. I am writing separately. And from the first part you know that angle OMN is equal to angle ONM. So from these two equations you can say that angle OMA will be equal to angle ONC because both are 90 degree. If this is equation number 1, this is equation number 2, you can subtract second equation from the first equation. It will be angle OMA minus angle OMN. So from this whole angle you are subtracting this angle. Then what you will get? You will get the remaining angle as angle AMN. Similarly this side angle is ONC, from which you are subtracting angle ONM. So this angle if you subtract, then what you will get? Remaining angle will be CNM. This angle will be remaining. That only we have to prove. In the second part, angle AMN is equal to angle CNM. So like this you can do. So figure has not been given in the question. You have to draw the figure from your own side. Now it has been given that the diameter of this circle bisects the two chords AB and CD are two chords, okay, at the points M and N. Then you have to prove that AB is parallel to CD. So bisecting means that AM will be equal to MB. Similarly CN will be equal to ND. And it has been given that PQ is the diameter. So you must think that why it has been given that PQ is the diameter. If PQ is the diameter, then center must be located somewhere on the diameter. We do not know where the center is. It has not been given. Figure is not given in the question. But somewhere you must be having center on this PQ. Okay. So you know that a line segment joining center, if we assume that this is a center, let me call it O. I mean it may be here, it may be anywhere on this line, we do not know. But it will be somewhere on this line PQ. So if you join a line from center to the midpoint of a chord, then that line will be perpendicular to the chord. So this angle must be 90 degree. Similarly, somewhere on this line PQ, I mean this diameter PQ, you are having center. If you join a line from center to the midpoint of the chord, CD is the chord and N is the midpoint, then that line will be perpendicular. So what you can see? You can see that the interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary, isn't it? Interior angles on the same side of transversal, you can see they are supplementary, 90 degree plus 90 degree. And hence you can say that AB must be parallel to CD. So for question number 18, figure is not given. You have to draw the figure from your own side. We are having a circle, we are having two chords AB and CD. So you have to prove that the greater chord, that is the bigger chord, will be closer to the center. So if center is O, then AB is closer to the center. That is, you have to prove that OM will be less than ON. Now what are OM and ON? What I have done is that I have marked the midpoint. So this construction you will have to do from your own side. You take the midpoint of the chord AB, you take the midpoint of the chord CD. If you join the midpoint with the center, then it will be perpendicular. If you join the midpoint with the center, then this line ON will be perpendicular on CD. So now you can imagine if you join O with B or if you join O with D, then you can see that two right angle triangles, triangle OMB and triangle OND. Okay, these are two right angle triangle. Now one thing more, you can take the chords on the same side of the center or on the opposite side of the center, because it has not been indicated in the question. So you can take on the same side or on the opposite side, it doesn't matter. Now after this you have to simply apply the Pythagoras theorem and then you can do easily. Now I am not going to solve this question on the board because recently we have uploaded detailed video solution of concise mathematics exercise number 18C for class 10 students. Okay, so if you see question number 1, of exercise 18C, concise mathematics, the same question is repeated. So you can see that video because the video has already been uploaded. So I'm not going to solve further. But this much I have said that on the basis of the Pythagoras theorem, you can simply prove it. Okay. Okay. So for question number 18, second subpart, B subpart, this is a circle. O is the center. PQ is the chord. M is the midpoint of the chord PQ. If you join the center with the midpoint, so this angle will be 90 degree. Now we have to prove that PQ is less than AB. So AB is any other chord. So nothing has been given in the question regarding the any other chord. Only thing written is any other chord. So any other chord, if PQ is the chord, one chord, if you draw any other chord, I mean passing through this M that is given in the question. The second chord AB passing through the point M, where M is the midpoint of PQ. So you can draw the second chord like this. How does it matter? I mean this is point M, so it should pass through M. So you can draw a chord like this. What is the issue? We can have a chord like this, isn't it? AB is the chord. In fact, here AB is the diameter. Diameter is a chord. Diameter is the largest chord and it is passing through the center M, midpoint of PQ M. It is also passing through center, but the condition is that it should pass through M. Or you can draw AB like this. How does it matter? I mean, what is the issue? Nothing. As per the question, AB chord passing through M, you can draw AB like this. I mean, any how you can draw. That is not an issue. Or you can draw AB like this. You see, this is A, this is B, passing through point M. I mean, AB you can draw in any orientation. Nothing has been given the question. You can draw it like this, you draw like this, you draw like this. I mean, it should pass through M. Only thing is that it should pass through M. If M is the midpoint and PQ is the chord, I mean, it is obvious that M cannot be midpoint of AB. How can M be the midpoint of the chord AB? You are having a chord like this and you are having another chord. They are passing through the same point. In fact, you can imagine that there are two intersecting lines. Okay. Now, a single midpoint for two lines is possible if and only if the two lines are coincident. They are exactly overlapping. Then only they can have a common midpoint. See here, we are having a line. This is P, Q and a midpoint M. Now you want another line AB, then passing through M. That means M cannot be midpoint of AB. If M is the midpoint of AB, that means that AB and PQ are one and the same thing, isn't it? But here you know that point P is separate, A is separate, point Q is separate, point B is separate. So if you are having two separate lines, two different lines, then they cannot have the same midpoint. The midpoint of AB must be different from the midpoint of PQ. That is simple reasoning. That means if you are having a chord AB like this, then somewhere different you will have its midpoint like this. So this you have to understand. Now rest of the chords which I have drawn, let me rub. So let me repeat once again the important point. Two different chords cannot have same midpoint. If this line is of, let us say, 10 centimeter, its midpoint will be 5 centimeter. If you want another line also to have midpoint at 5 centimeter, then the second line should also be 10 centimeter. If the second line is greater than 10 centimeter or it is smaller than 10 centimeter, then the midpoint of the second line cannot be exactly 5 centimeter. As simple as that. If two lines are separate, their midpoint will also be separate. So somewhere here we are having midpoint. If you join the midpoint with the center, then this will be 90 degree, isn't it? ON will be perpendicular on AB. Now see carefully the triangle OMN. Triangle OMN. You will notice that it is right angle. Right angle at N. This is 90 degree angle. Side opposite to 90 degree is hypotenuse. That is OM will be hypotenuse. OMN is right triangle and OM is hypotenuse. That is, we want to say that OM will be the longest side. If OM is hypotenuse, OM will be the longest side. That is, OM will be greater than ON. Now, why I am taking ON? Because I know that ON is the distance of AB from the center, and OM is the distance of PQ from the center. Okay, just now we have studied that greater chord or the bigger chord, larger chord is closer to center. OM is the distance of PQ from center, and ON is the distance of AB from the center. So which chord is nearer to the center? You can see that ON is less. If ON is less, then AB is nearer. If AB is nearer, then you can say that, combining these two, you can say that AB must be greater than PQ, isn't it? Because distance of AB from center is less than the distance of PQ from the center. Or if you want, you can proceed further also. If you want to proceed further, then you can substitute the values of OM and ON. Okay. So how you can get value of OM? For OM, you will have to look at the triangle. You have to join O with P like this. Not triangle OMP is right angle triangle. So according using the Pythagoras theorem, what will be OM? OM will be under root OP square minus PM square. And for ON, you can take triangle ONB. You can join O with B. So OB will be hypotenuse. You will get OB square minus BN square. So this radical sign will cancel. You can see that because we are having circle, so OP and OB are radii of same circle. So OP and OB are equal. So this OP square will cancel with OB square. You will be left with minus PM square. Here you will be having minus BN square. So square, you can cancel both sides. Okay. How you are cancelling square? You can take square root on both sides. It will cancel out. You will have minus PM greater than BN minus BN. If you multiply with minus, then the inequality sign will change. Multiply both sides by minus 1. You will get PM is less than BN. If PM is less than BN, then 2 times PM. If you multiply by 2 on both sides, then this will also be less than BN. But M is the midpoint. 2 times PM will be PQ. That means you want to say that PQ. And 2 times BN. N is the midpoint of AB. 2 times BN will be AB. So PQ is less than AB. Like this also you can do if you want to proceed further. But if you know that greater chord is closer to the center, then by that itself the question is solved. Let me draw a figure also for you. See, let me tell you, mathematics is about doing. When you say that greater chord is closer to the center, how it is so? Draw a circle, draw many chords for on the same circle. See for yourself. So this is the circle. Draw chords. One chord, another chord. Automatically you will see that this is smaller, so this is further away from the center. But as the chords get bigger, they get closer to the center, isn't it? How can you draw a bigger chord further away from the center? If you compare these two chords, this chord is away from the center, this chord is closer from the center, and this chord passing through the center, that is the diameter, this will be the largest chord. Okay, so you can draw, if you draw a circle and draw many chords, then you will automatically see that the bigger chord, larger chord will be closer to the center. That only is the theorem. Okay, next question. So this is the figure for question number 19. We are having two circles intersecting at points A and B. So O and P are the centers. So if you join O and P, you will get a line segment. Okay. You have to prove that OP bisects the common chord AB at right angles. You can see that AB, it is a chord of the bigger circle, and also AB is the chord for the smaller circle. So now, how you can prove that OP bisects the common chord? That is, you have to prove that OP is a perpendicular bisector of AB. So one is that this angle should be 90 degree. You have to prove that angle ONA is 90 degree. this is one point, and you have to also prove that if n is this point, an is equal to bn, both the points, then only you can say that OP is perpendicular bisector, that OP is a perpendicular bisector of AB. So what you can do is you can join the points O and A, like this I am joining. Also join O with B. Now you can join A with P. You can join B with P. Now you can see two triangles OAP and this triangle OBP. You can straight away say that they are congruent to each other by SSS. That is by side congruency. Why? How you can say? Because OA will be equal to OB, isn't it? Both are the radii of the same circle, the bigger circle. OA is one radius and OB is the second radius. Similarly, for this smaller circle, you can say that AP and BP, they are the radii of the same circle, that is the smaller circle. So they will be equal. And third side OP is the common side. Hence both of these triangles will be congruent to each other by SSS congruency. If they are congruent to each other, then the corresponding parts will be equal. That is angle AOP, this angle will be equal to angle BOP. These two angles will be equal. In the same way as these two angles, angle APO will be equal to angle BPO. These two angles will also be equal. You can see that you can exactly overlap these two triangles. So these two angles must be equal. In fact, all three angles and sides must be equal. Okay. Side must be equal means corresponding side. OA is equal to OB, AP is equal to BP. That means these two angles are equal. Now let us look at the triangles AON. This triangle AON, and you can take the triangle BON. You know that AO is equal to BO, radii of the same circle. Then this angle, we have proved just now that angle AOP is equal to angle BOP. So this angle is equal, and the side ON is the common side. Hence now you can say that these two triangles will be congruent to each other using SAS congruency. Angle is the included angle. Side angle side. Side angle side congruency. If they are equal, that means AN will be equal to BN. CPCT means corresponding part of congruent triangle. Okay. So this AN, this side is equal to BN. So this much is done. Now second, you can say that this angle ANO, this angle will be equal to angle BNO, these two angles, again by the same logic, that is corresponding part of congruent triangle. But you know that ANO plus BNO, ANO plus angle BNO must be 180 degree. How we can say? We can say because AB is the chord. And what is a chord? Chord is a line segment, okay, joining 2 points on the circumference of the circle. So you are having a line segment. If you are having a line segment, that means that the angle ANB must be a straight angle, that is 180 degree. Then only you can have a line segment. If you are having a chord like this, can you have a chord? If this is the center, can you have a chord like this? No, you cannot have a chord like this. This is not a line segment. You must have a line segment. That means angle A and B must be straight angle 180 degree. But you know that ANO is equal to BNO. So instead of BNO, you can write ANO. So we'll get 2 times angle ANO equal to 180 degree. What can you conclude? Angle ANO will be 90 degree. That means angle ANO is 90 degree. If this is 90 degree, then this is also 90 degree. So second part is also done. Hence we can say that OP is perpendicular bisector of AB. Like this you can do. So in this figure, M and N are the midpoints of the chord AB and CD. and it has been given that MN passes through the center. O is the center. We have to prove that AB is parallel to CD. So you must think that why they are specifically saying that MN passes through center, and why in the figure they have given you the center O. Okay, so this will give you a hint. That is the way how to look at the question. The information given in the question will give you the hints how to solve it, because they want you to make use of the theorem that if you join the segment using a line segment, the center with the midpoint, then it will be perpendicular. So this angle will be 90 degree. So if you use a line segment to join center with the midpoint, then it will be perpendicular. ON will be perpendicular to CD. A similar question we have solved just now in this exercise itself. A previous question. So again you can see the same thing, that the interior angles on the same side of transversal, they are supplementary. Angle AMO plus angle CNO is 180 degree. This proves that the AB must be parallel to CD. Okay. So you are having two chords AB and CD, and you are having midpoints M and N. So to prove that if you join the midpoint, that is if you join point M with N, then it will pass through the center. So let us join the point M and N like this. Then according to the question we have to prove that center is somewhere on this line. So let us imagine that this is the center. We do not know where the center. In fact, figure is not given in the question, but center will be somewhere on this line MN. So we have to prove that MN passes through the center O. Okay. So a similar question I remember discussion on this solved example given in Concise Mathematics by Selena Publishers. So I will give you the link in the description box or in this I button link. See that video. How can you prove that a line passes through a point? After all, O is a point, isn't it? How you can prove that line MN passes through O? That means you want to say that angle MON should be a straight angle. Then only you can say that MN passes through this point O. So what you can do is you can do a construction. Draw a line like this parallel to AB. Let us say EF. This is parallel to AB. Okay. So in fact all three these chords will be parallel. AB is parallel to CD. You have drawn EF parallel to AB. So EF will also be parallel to CD. So now O is the center, M is the midpoint. So if you join the center with the midpoint, then this angle will be 90 degree. And AB is parallel to EF. If AB is parallel to EF, then angle MOE will also be 90 degrees. So angle MON, which is equal to angle MOE plus angle NOE. Angle MOE we know it is 90 degree. Angle NOE is also 90 degree. That is 180 degree. That means angle MON is 180 degree. That means the line MN passes through the center O. In other words, we can say that MN passes through the center O. So these two circles, they are congruent to each other. O and P are the centers. If you join O with P, then M is the midpoint. And you have drawn a line like this. So you are having two chords AB and CD on the same line. This AD. We have to prove that AB is equal to CD. Okay, so what you can do is that this is the center. You can draw a perpendicular on this called AB like this. Let us call this point as, let us say S. Why not? Also you can draw a perpendicular from P to CD. It will be something like this. So let us say this point is T. So by construction this is 90 degree. This is we have constructed. So now you can look at this triangle OMS. Triangle OMS. This triangle. And this triangle. That is triangle PMT. So you can see that here this angle, these two angles will be equal because they are vertically opposite angle. You are having two lines intersecting each other. This angle is 90 degree, this angle is 90 degree. If two angles are equal, then third angle will also be equal. In fact, all three angles are equal, and you know that OM, because M is the midpoint, so OM will be equal to MP. OM will be equal to MP. That means these two triangles are congruent to each other. Or you can say with the help of angle side angle congruency. So if they are congruent to each other, then what can you conclude? You can conclude that this distance OS will be equal to PT. OS will be equal to PT by corresponding part of congruent triangle. CPCT, corresponding part of congruent triangles, they are equal. So OS will be equal to PT. And you know that the two circles, they are congruent to each other. If the two circles are congruent to each other, you know that equal chords are equidistant from the center, isn't it? That automatically means that AB must be equal to CD. Then only AB and CD can be equidistant from the center. OS is equal to PT. What is OS? If this is perpendicular, this is 90-degree angle here, this angle I am saying, then it means that OS is the distance of the chord AB from the center. Similarly here, if this is 90-degree angle, it means that PT is the distance of the chord CD from the center. And the two circles, they are congruent to each other. It means that if OS is equal to PT, then the chords must be equal, because equal chords are equidistant from the center. Or if you want more clarity, then you can make use of the Pythagoras theorem, apply Pythagoras theorem, then also will get the same thing. See, like this. What is OS? You can join O with A like this. If you want PT, you can join P with D like this. Okay. So what is OS? OS, make use of Pythagoras theorem, then OS will be equal to under root OA square minus SA square. And you know that OS is equal to PT. What is PT? Make use of Pythagoras theorem, it will be under root PD square minus TD square. Both sides you are having a radical sign, you can cancel, and you know that OA is equal to PD because the two circles, they are congruent to each other. So from here, if you cancel the radical sign, it will look like this. Now because the two circles, they are congruent to each other, so you can cancel OA and PD. This minus sign also you can cancel, so you will be left with SA square is equal to TD square. You can take under root on both sides, you will get SA is equal to TD, multiply by 2 on both sides. You know that line from center perpendicular on the chord will bisect the chord, so SA is 1/2 of AB. That means 2 times of SA you will get AB, and similarly 2 times of TD you will get CD. So like this also you can do. Okay. So you are having two circles. O and P are the centers. AQB is one line segment. CRD is another line segment. So it has been given that this AB and CD, they are drawn parallel to OP. O and P are the centers. If you join them, then you will be getting a line segment. Now we have to prove that AB is equal to 2 times OP. This AB is twice OP, and AB is equal to CD. Okay. See, geometry is about visualization. How you visualize the things. You can see that AQ is the chord. So if you draw a perpendicular like this. Similarly here, if you draw a perpendicular. You know how to draw a perpendicular from a point. Constructions we have discussed. I mean, in the proof of the Pythagoras theorem, we had discussed constructions in that. How to construct a perpendicular from a point to a line. And also for tangent and intersecting chord, concise mathematics, just now, I mean previous week, I was solving questions of exercise 18C. Entire solutions have been uploaded. In that, if you see for question number 12, if I remember, I have discussed the constructions. So you can construct easily. In case you have trouble, then watch those videos, learn how to construct a perpendicular from a given point to a line segment. So now here, AQ is a chord O is a point, you can construct a perpendicular. So this is 90 degree. Similarly here this will be 90 degree. If you join O, draw a perpendicular from O to CR, like this you will get. This is 90 degree. So let me label it M, N, S, T. So what can you say? We can say that this is 90 degree angle, this is 90 degree angle, okay? This is 90 degree angle, this is 90 degree angle. It means that we can say that this MT must be parallel to NS. These two lines must be parallel to each other. Anyway, AB is parallel to CD. So opposite sides are parallel and you can see that the angles are 90 degree. So you must be able to visualize a rectangle here, okay? Now if MT is parallel to NS and you are drawing a transversal OP, this OP is the transversal here, okay, like this I am saying. Imagine that this MT, this is a line, these two lines they are parallel to each other. You are drawing a transversal perpendicular, this angle is 90 degree. It means that this distance OP will be equal to this distance MN, because these two lines they are parallel to each other. So OP must be equal to MN. Similarly, you can say that OP will also be equal to TS. This angle is also 90 degree. Between two parallel lines, it doesn't matter how many transversal you draw, their intercept will always be equal. If these two are parallel lines, you can draw how many lines you draw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, doesn't matter, the length will always be same. That means we want to say that net conclusion is that OP will be equal to MN will be equal to ST. Now what is MN? Here only let us write OP is equal to MN. What is MN? MN is MQ plus NQ. You know that if you draw a line segment from center to a chord perpendicular to a chord, then that chord will be bisected. So AM will be equal to MQ. That means you want to say that MQ is 1/2 of AQ. So instead of MQ you can write AQ by 2. Similarly for NQ you can write BQ by 2. That means you want to say that AQ plus BQ by 2. What is AQ plus BQ? That is AB. This will be equal to AB by 2. If you take 2 from the right to the left hand side, then you will have to multiply. So we will say that 2 times of OP is equal to AB. Okay, that only we have to prove 2 times OP is equal to AB. Now similarly you can say for the other side also, as you have done here. If you take on the other side OP is equal to ST, so OP is equal to, instead of MN I am writing here ST, this ST. Now what is ST? ST is TR plus SR, this is T, TR plus RS. You know that TR is 1/2 of CR and you know that RS is 1/2 of RD. Okay, so if you take the LCM, CR plus RD. What is CR plus RD? It is CD. So we will get CD by 2. If you transfer 2 from right to left, you will have to multiply. CD will be equal to 2 times of OP. So from these two you can conclude that AB will be equal to CD. 2 times OP is equal to AB and 2 times of OP is equal to CD. That means AB is equal to CD. That only we had to prove. So a similar question we have done previously. I think question number 4 of exercise 18C. I will give you the link in the description box or in the I button. You can see that solution. There can be various approaches. It depends on you how you want to approach a particular question. Whenever you are having a question of prove anything, how you prove it is up to you. Anyway you can prove. So one approach can be you join O with P like this. You join O with R. Now I can see two triangle OPQ and triangle ORQ. OP is equal to OR, radius of same circle. PQ is equal to QR. Given in the question, OQ is common. That means these two triangles are congruent to each other. using S congruency. If they are congruent to each other, that means angle OQP, it will be equal to OQR. That is, you want to say that OQ is angle bisector of angle PQR. So we have started with the center and we have proved that the line OQ is the angle bisector. Okay, so O is the center, triangle PQR is isosceles triangle, PQ is equal to PR. So PQ is equal to PR, length is given 13 centimeter, QR is given 10 centimeter. We have to find the radius of the circle. So you can draw a perpendicular from O to PQ like this. You can also draw a perpendicular from O to PR. So this angle is 90 degree, this angle is 90 degree. Okay, you can join the points O with Q like this. You can join the points O with R. So you can see that OQ is the radius of the circle, OR is also the radius, so their length will be equal. Let me call it X, so this will also be X. A line drawn from center perpendicular to a chord will always bisect a chord. So PQ is given 13, that means this point, let me call this point as M. So MQ, this will be 13 by 2. PR is 13, this point is N, this will also be 13 by 2. So before we proceed further, in fact this is the definition of the circumcenter. You can see you are having a circumcircle. Okay, circumcircle means a circle which is touching all the vertices of the triangle. So you are having a circumcircle. Center of a circumcircle is called as the circumcenter, and circumcenter is the point of concurrence of the perpendicular bisectors. So if you want to say, using the theorems of the circle, you can say that line joining center to this chord, perpendicular on the chord, will bisect the chord. Or if you want to say in the definition, using the definition of the circumcenter, then you can say that circumcenter is the point of concurrence of all the perpendicular bisector. You can see that OS is the perpendicular bisector of QR, OM is the perpendicular bisector of PQ, ON is a perpendicular bisector of PR. So it is a point of concurrence of the perpendicular bisector. Now there is another theorem for the isosceles triangle. You can see that PQ and PR, they are equal. This triangle is isosceles. S is the midpoint. If you join P with S like this, so the theorem is that for a isosceles triangle, if you draw a perpendicular like this, then QS will be equal to SR. That is, S will bisect QR, and also this angle will also be bisected. So for the isosceles triangle also same thing. If you want to use the property of isosceles triangle, same conclusion. If you want to use the definition of the circumcenter, same conclusion. If you want to use theorem of the circle, same conclusion. You will be able to see the right angle triangle. As I was saying that because PQR is an isosceles triangle, so if you draw a perpendicular from vertex, then it to the opposite side, non-equal side, then it will bisect the non-equal side. So two times you can use Pythagoras theorem. Once for triangle PSR. Okay, for triangle PSR, it is a right angle triangle, and also you can see triangle OSR. So now for triangle PSR, from O to P, this is the circumcenter. Distance between the circumcenter to each of the vertices will be same. So PS will be X plus OS. PR is the hypotenuse. PR length, you know, PR has been given 13. 13 square. This will be equal to X plus OS square plus SR. SR is 5. Now for triangle OSR, X square. This will be equal to OS square plus 5 square. This means X square minus OS square is equal to 5 square is 25. So here you can make use of expansion. This is A square minus B square. So this will be equal to A minus B into A plus B. So it will be X minus OS into X plus OS is equal to 25. Now 13 square is 169. 5 square is 25. If you transfer 5 square from right to left, that will become minus 25. This will be equal to x plus os whole square. So this is 144 x plus os whole square. If you take square root on both sides, 144 is equal to x plus os whole square. So this, if you solve, you will get 12. This square will cancel with the radical sign. Then you will get x plus os. So this x plus os you can substitute here. So you will get x minus os. It will be equal to 25 upon x plus os. If you transfer, it will come in the denominator, and then x plus os is 12. So this will be equal to, okay. So from here you mean x minus os is 25 by 12, but x plus os you know is 12. So you can add these two. Other things I am rubbing. So if you add, then this os will cancel. You will get x plus x is 2x plus 12. So 2x will be equal to x. If you transfer from left to right, here it will come in the denominator. So x will be equal to, now see in the figure, this x is the radius from circumcenter to the vertex. Each of the vertex, this will be x, this will be x, this will be x. So radius will be equal to 169 upon 24. Now the same proper fraction, if you want, you can write it in the mixed fraction. Express the same thing in the mixed fraction. So 2 will not go 8 times, it will go 7 times. 7 4 28, 168, 1 by 24. If you want to express in the mixed fraction, then it will be like this. So again you will have to imagine, right angle triangles. First, if you draw a perpendicular from A to BC, it will be like this. Let us call this point M. Okay. So BM will be one half of BC. Point M will bisect. This is perpendicular. This is a property of an isosceles triangle, as we have discussed previously. Okay. So radius they have given 9 centimeter. So if this is the center O, this much distance will be 9 centimeter. This much will be 9. So for the triangle ABM, you can apply Pythagoras theorem. 15 square, this will be equal to, this much distance is 9, this will be OM, plus BM square. BM is BC by 2, so I am writing here BC by 2 whole square. So this will be 225, this will be equal to 9 plus OM whole square plus BC square by 4. You can apply the Pythagoras theorem. If you join O with B, then for the triangle OBM. Now apply Pythagoras for OBM. OB is the radius. Radius is given 9 centimeter, so it will be 9 square. This will be equal to OM square plus BM square. BM square is, BM is BC by 2. So it will be BC by 2 whole square. That is OM square plus BC square by 4. 9 square will be 81. I am writing here 81. So you are having two equations. Here you can see, what you can do is you can subtract this equation from the first equation. If this is first, this is second. So we will do 1 minus 2. That is, we will subtract second equation from the first equation. 2 to 5 minus 81. This will be 4. 4, 1. Then this BC square by 4 will cancel out. You will have, this will be equal to 9 plus OM whole square, and then minus OM square. It will be minus OM square. So here you can make use of an expansion. What is A plus B whole square? A square plus 2AB plus B square, and here you are having minus OM. So this will cancel. This will be 144 minus 81, so it will be 3. this will be your OM. So now you have determined OM 63 by 18. So as you know, OB is 9, so it will be 9 square is 81. This will be equal to BM. BM is BC by 2 plus this square, OM square. OM is 63 by 18. So this will be, this you can cancel by simplify by 3. This will be 7 by 2 if you simplify. 7 by 2 whole square. So this will be 49 by 4, isn't it? We can transfer from right to left. It will be 81 minus 49 by 4. So this will be equal to, you will be having BC square by 4. So this 4 you can cancel out. So if you take under root both side, it will be, you will get BC will be equal to, so from here you can get BC is equal to under root 275. So this will be 5 times. So this means again 5 will come out. 5 under root 11 centimeter. This should be your answer. So you can see that length of PQ is equal to length of PR. And length has been given 5 centimeter. So if PQ is 5, PR will also be 5. Radius is given 6 centimeter. If you join O with Q like this and O with R, then triangle OQR will also be an isosceles triangle, because this will be 6 radius, this will also be 6 radius. Okay, I have told you just now that if you draw a perpendicular from vertex to the opposite side, okay, like this, then if this is perpendicular, let me call this point D, then it will bisect the opposite side. So QD will be equal to DR. Now you can apply the Pythagoras theorem 2 times. Once for triangle OQD and another time for triangle PQD. This is point D. Point D is the midpoint. It has been given that PQ and PR are same. So triangle PQR is also an isosceles triangle. If D is the midpoint, you join midpoint with the opposite vertex like this. Then this will be perpendicular. This is a property of an isosceles triangle. So QD will be equal to DR. So 2 times you can use Pythagoras theorem. Once for triangle OQD, and then you can use Pythagoras theorem for triangle PQD. So here 6 is the hypotenuse. 6 square is 36. This will be equal to OD square plus QD square. Then what is QD? D is the midpoint. QD is 1/2 of QR. In fact, we have to find QR. So let us write instead of QD, QR by 2. And then if you take square, so it will be QR square by 4. Now for triangle PQD, PQ is the hypotenuse. 5 square will be 25. This will be equal to PD square plus QD square. QD is QR by 2. So again it will be QR square by 4. Just like this. It will be QR square by 4. Now for this PD, you know that 6 is the radius. That means OP will be 6. So what will be PD? If OP is 6, but what is OP? OP is OD plus PD. It will be OD plus PD. This is 6. So here instead of PD square, you can write 6 minus OD. This PD will be equal to 6 minus OD. So here you can write instead of PD square, 6 minus OD whole square plus QR square by 4. So you can subtract, let us say this equation from this equation. 36 minus 25, you will get 11. On the right hand side you will get OD square minus 6 minus OD whole square. and this QR square by 4 will cancel out. Okay, if you subtract, then here sign will change, and minus and plus it will cancel out. So you will get 11 is equal to OD square minus, this is A minus B whole square. You can use the expansion. A minus B whole square will be equal to A square, it is 6 square, 6 square is 36, minus 2AB. So 2 into 6 is 12, so it will be minus 12 times of OD plus B square plus OD square. So now let us open the bracket. You will get 11 is equal to OD square minus 36 plus 12 OD minus OD square. So this OD square will cancel out. Now if you shift this minus 36 here, it will be 6 plus 1 7, 3 plus 1 4, 12 OD. So this means that OD is 47 by 12. This OD will be 47 by 12. Now you can apply Pythagoras theorem and find out QD for the triangle OQD. 36, it will be equal to OD square 47 by 12 plus QD. QD is QR by 2. So it will be QR square by 4. Okay. So it means that we want to say 36. This will be minus 47 square. Okay. By 144. So you will have to simplify it. First you multiply by 6. This is 6 square, so it will be 6 4 24. Again multiply by 6. 5184. Minus this is 47. So this will be 2209. Okay. So this will come out to be QR. So this 4 will be 4 3 times 12. QR. So this is 2975. How you will do? You will have to take. Okay, let us factorize. Okay, so QR will be equal to, here 5 will come out, 5 under root 119 by 6 centimeter, like this. Okay, so radius of the circle is given 15 centimeter. Okay, BC is given 24 centimeter. We have to find AB. So this is the center. If you draw a perpendicular from center to the chord, it will bisect the chord. So this will be the midpoint somewhere here. And you also know the property of an isosceles triangle. This is isosceles triangle because AB is equal to AC. If you join the vertex with the midpoint, then it will be perpendicular. This is a property of an isosceles triangle. Because BC is 24, so this will be 12. Okay. Again, it is a simple application of Pythagoras theorem. You join center with point B. Let us call this center O. Let us call this point M. So once use Pythagoras theorem for triangle OBM, then use the Pythagoras theorem for triangle ABM. When you use for OBM, then OB square. OB is the radius. Radius is given 15. So 15 square will be 225. This will be equal to OM square plus BM. BM is 12. So 12 square will be 144. So from here you can find out OM. 225 minus 144. You will get. Okay. This means OM will be equal to plus minus. Length cannot be minus. So we are not taking minus. It will be 81. Under root 81, that is 9. So OM will be 9. Now apply Pythagoras for the triangle ABM. AB square. AB we have to find in fact. So this will be equal to OA is the radius. Radius is given 15. 15 plus 9. You will get 24 square. Plus BM square. BM is 12. So 12 square is 144. So AB will be equal to under root 24 square. So it will be 12 into 2, isn't it? Whole square plus 144. So 12 square is 144 into 2 square is 4 plus 144. You can take 144 common, then you will get 4 plus 1 5. Okay, so this will be, 144, 12 will come out. Why to solve it? 12 will come out, so it will be 12 under root 5 centimeter. Okay, so this is the figure given. We have to find the radius of the circle. This is equilateral triangle ABC, whose side measure is given 12 centimeter. So because this is a circle, circumcircle, O is the center. We have to assume, it has not been given specifically, but it means that O is the center, the way the figure has been given in the question. So now, because it's equilateral triangle, so you must be knowing that the median will coincide with the circumcenter. O is the circumcenter. Okay, so if you join the midpoint, this dotted line, let us suppose that this is a midpoint, or if you want, you can join any vertex with the midpoint of the opposite side. So this will be median. Okay, if you want, you can draw a median like this also. You must know that the circumcenter in an equilateral triangle, circumcenter will coincide with the centroid. Centroid is the point of concurrency of the medians. Let us call this point M. If AM is the median, then this will be 6. Okay, and you are joining midpoint with the center of the circle, so that means this will be 90 degree. So again, you have to basically use Pythagoras theorem 2 times, once for triangle ABM and second time for OBM. If you use for triangle ABM, then 12, actually AB is hypotenuse, so 12 square will be 144. This will be equal to R plus OM whole square plus BM square. BM is 6, 6 square is 36. So this means that R plus OM whole square, this will be equal to 36. 144 minus 36, you will get 108. So R plus OM will be equal to under root 108. So this will be equal to 4 into 27. So this will be 4 into 9 into 3. So 2 into 3, 6 under root 3. Okay, so R plus OM will be 6 under root 3. Here I am writing. Now instead of ABM, you can use OBM. Again use Pythagoras. OB is the radius, so let me call it R. OM square, BM is 6. So you can make use of expansion. This is A square minus B square. So it will be A minus B into A plus B. R plus OM, you know, 6 under root 3. You can keep here. So R minus OM will be equal to 36 divided by R plus OM. And R plus OM is 6 under root 3. So this will be 6 by root 3. 6 means 3 into 2 by root 3. So this root 3 will cancel. You will get 2 times under root 3. So R minus OM will be 2 under root 3. And R plus OM is 6 under root 3. Add the two equations. You will get 2 times of R will be equal to 6 plus 2. So R will be equal to. So figure is not given. You have to draw the figure from your own side. Two circles intersecting. AB is the common chord. AB is the chord for this center, and AB is also chord for the second. AB is the chord for this circle, I mean to say, and AB is also the chord for the second circle. Now diameter of one circle is 30 centimeter, and for the second circle the diameter is 26 centimeter. We have to find the distance between the two centers. So for one circle, AB is the chord. You join the center with a midpoint. Similarly, for the second circle also you join the midpoint, because midpoint will remain the same, chord is same with the center. So this will be perpendicular. This will be perpendicular. So now if you join O with A, you can see let us call this point M. Then you can see a right angle triangle OAM. This is M actually. Similarly here this side also you can see a right angle triangle. So again it is a simple application of the Pythagoras theorem. 2 times you have to use Pythagoras theorem. Once for triangle AOM. If you say for AOM, then OA. OA is the radius. diameter is 30 centimeters, so OA will be 15. For the second circle, diameter is 26, so AO dash, this will be 13. Because we have joined the midpoint, the common chord is 24, so this will be 12. So for AOM, it will be 15 square, 12 square plus OM square. Then similarly apply Pythagoras for triangle AO dash M, 13 square. This will be equal to 12 square plus O dash M square. So from the first equation you can find OM, for the second equation you can find O dash M, and if you add OM with O dash M, then you can find out the distance between their center. So like this you can do. I don't think there should be any trouble. It is simple application of Pythagoras. Please do it. Okay, so AO and OB will be same, and OC and OD will be same. Same means equal because the radius of the same circle. So that means you want to say that triangle AOB, this triangle, isosceles triangle it will be. Similarly, this triangle will also be isosceles. And the arcs AB and CD are equal. So equal arc will subtend equal angle at the center. Okay. So if AOB is 130, then COD, this will also be 130. And you know that this is a isosceles triangle. So 180 minus 130, you will get 50. Each of these two angles will be equal. So each will be 25. So for the first ODC, this will be equal to angle OCD. Each of these will be 25. Second case, OCD is given 60. So if this is 60, it means this is 60 because it is isosceles. This is 60, this is 60. In fact, that will become equilateral. 60, 60, 120, 180 minus 120, this will also be 60. If this is 60, then this angle is equal to AOB. So AOB will be 60 degree. Second case, it will be 60 degree. Okay, like this you can do. So that's how you can solve the questions of this exercise. As you have seen, for some of the questions they are given wrong answer. So please do not get confused by that. Solve the question on your own and be confident about your own work. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching.